Okay, everyone, Coach Brian back again. So just talk briefly about a couple of things we're going to do in practice this week. This won't be everything because I can't really show you everything. So the only thing I'm going to show you on the board here is just a little intro to zone defense. And then in the description of the video down below, I'm going to put a link to 4 YouTube videos from other folks. They're all short. I think the longest one is like 2.5 minutes. But they're about getting open, and there's one about getting separation getting separation. So they're mostly about getting open, and there's one about footwork, which I talked about with defense, about being down in your stance and being able to slide your feet. And this is stuff we practice. This guy that shows it's a short video. It's a couple minutes long, but it really stresses, how you need to move on defense, when you're covering. And this goes whether we're playing man-to-man or zone. Like I said, guys, there's a lot of common things in between. So while zone might be a little bit easier to run, you still got to be able to do certain things, okay? Otherwise, it doesn't really matter what you run, okay? All right, so I'm going to try to do this, trying to watch the camera and me. Okay, so just be looking at the board here. Okay, so when we play man-to-man defense, obviously what we're doing here. Hold on one second, guys. Okay, so when we run man-to-man defense, guys, so these X's represent us on defense, by the way, okay? So obviously, when we're running man-to-man, okay, then, we're basically following a guy. So if this is one of you guys on defense, this is the offensive player, wherever this guy goes, right? So if he goes down here, then you have to follow him, right? That's the basic idea of man-to-man, right? You're going with a man, okay? Well, the difference is on a zone defense, you're covering an area instead of a man, okay? So I would say to one of you guys, okay, you're going to play the wing on the right side on defense. So this is the right, because it's as you face the basket, okay, and then this would be the left over here. Actually, I got it backwards because it's backwards on the camera. So, okay, so basically there's zones, okay? So basically this guy essentially is covering about what this circle covers, right? This guy is basically covering about what this circle covers. This guy in the middle is covering like here. This guy here is covering about like this. And this guy down here, right, is covering about this area. And you can see it overlaps, right? So, everybody's area overlaps a little bit, okay? But again, you're just covering an area instead of a person. So if an offensive player comes down, okay, and now he's over here, okay, then this guy right here is covering him, okay? Now, if this guy, let's say he has the ball, he comes down, you cover him. But if this guy comes down to here and he tries to get to the basket this way, then it's this guy's responsibility to cover him, okay? And then everybody else is just going to cover whoever else happens to be in their zone, all right? So this is the basics of a zone defense. Again, the easiest way to think about it is man-to-man, you're covering a man, a particular person that you've picked. A zone, you're covering an area, a zone on the floor. But they all, there's all overlapping areas here, okay? So this guy right here, theoretically should never be coming and playing defense down here, right? This is his area, this is your area, etc., okay? So that's the basics to the zone defense. All right, let me just erase this. All right. So there's a lot of different ways you can set zones up. Probably what we're going to do is what we call a 2-1-2. Okay, and basically The 2-1-2 is essentially how I just had it drawn. It's 2 up top, so there's your 2. Here's the 1, plays the middle, okay, and then 2, okay, 2, right, 2, 1, 2, okay. There's other ways you can do it. I mean, there's, any combination that you can think of. You can do, a 3, this would be what? A 3-2, right? 3-2, okay. You can do it as a 2-3, okay, 2-3, okay, whatever you want to do. A 2-3 is very similar to the 2-1-2. It's just that these two guys are going to come up a little bit more, okay, and play it that way, okay. You can do a 1-4, I've seen, where you've basically got just one guy playing up top, okay, and you've got the rest of the defense like this, okay. I'm not really a big fan of that. That leaves too much area in here for them to get by. So usually for your ages, 2-1-2, a 2-1-2 or a 3-2 is usually the way to do it. A 3-2 or a 2-3. Okay, and the first number is always the guys up top. Okay, and if it's 2-3, then remember it's 2 up top, 3 down below. If it's 2-1-2, then it's 2 up top, 1 in the middle, 2 down below. Okay, so it's very simple, how you run it. And so again, if we do a 2-1-2, if the offensive player, I lost my pink marker already. If the offensive player comes down, okay, and he tries to get into the paint to take a shot, it's up to this guy to stop him, okay, and maybe both of these guys, they double team him in here. So what this does, you don't have to run around so much, chasing guys around. You're just covering a zone, but you still have to be able to, like I said, stay in good defensive stance, and you guys know what that is. You still have to move your feet the right way, and you still cannot be just standing up like flat-footed, because a good player is going to come down here and is just going to go right by you to the basket, no matter, whether you're playing a zone or not, okay? So you still have to practice good defensive skill. Closing out, what we practiced on the very first day, where if this guy comes down with the ball, you're closing him out hard right there, arm's length away, right in his face, down in your stance, right? Trying to get him to pick up his dribble, okay? The other thing you want to do is if this guy is trying to get down here, okay, and he's trying to get down by you here on the baseline, so try to sneak around you here. When you are sitting in your defensive stance, you want to put a foot right here on the out of bounds lines so he can't get by you this way, okay? You get down in your defensive stance, open up your feet far enough, all right, so if he tries to get by you, he can't, okay, without either running into you, which would be a foul on him, or stepping out of bounds, okay? So use the baseline to help keep them. I don't know, you guys may have heard sometimes on, if you're listening to basketball, they'll say, oh, he's trying to go baseline. You'll hear that. And what that means is that's the offensive player trying to get by the guy down low along the baseline and get to the basket. And the way you stop that is to just don't give him that area, right? Close him out, put your foot right on the baseline. He can't get by you. Then we talked about the trap zones, right? Not wanting to be in this area when we have the ball, okay? Well, if you're playing a zone defense, okay, this is where we want to send those guys, okay? They come down here with the ball, okay? You can come out here a little bit to meet him, force him to the outside, make him pick up his dribble outside the three-point line, even better over here. But, force him to pick up his dribble over here, and now you've got him in this trap zone, okay? That's the trap zone, okay? I can't write trap zone because it's going to look backwards on the screen. So, okay, so that's the trap zone, all right? So anyways, guys, that's the basics, set up for a zone defense. We're just covering an area instead of a man. But like I said, a lot of the same principles still apply. You still got to have good footwork, stay down in your stance, know how to close guys out when you got the guy with the ball in your zone, and keep them from getting by you and penetrating into the basket. This is a good defense for setting up like double teams. Like if the guy tries to come down here, then like I said, these two guys maybe can both pop in. The offensive player tries to come in, maybe this guy and this guy come over and close him out, double team him, keep him from coming in. All right, But if he tries to then pass the ball to one of their guys over here, then this guy who's now over here has to be able to get back. So this is what I'm saying. You still have to have good footwork to get back, because now you might trap him right here, but now he passes the ball this way. If this is your zone down here, but now you're up here double teaming, you need to quick get back here and cover that. Okay, but again, you're not chasing this guy up to another part of the court. You're just basically working in this area. And that's why I had those circles overlapping with each other, because you do have to help each other out in the various areas. Okay? All right, so that's it, guys. We'll cover this stuff, probably starting tomorrow, and then we'll scrimmage it a little bit. But if you get a chance, watch the videos in this posting in the description. They're all pretty short, and they'll show you a few other things, and we'll go from there. Okay, guys? Thanks a lot, and talk to you guys soon. See you at practice.